Hey everyone, welcome to Zeitgeist Zealots. This is episode 5. I'm Forrest.
I'm Major.
And I'm Robbie.
We've got a special guest with us here today.
Oh yeah, just talk over Matt there.
And his name is Matt.
Hey. We're happy to have Matt.
Hey, how are you doing today, Matt? Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day to all of our listeners. Hope you guys are out there spending with a special someone, and that could be yourself.
Hopefully we can give you some love that you don't have in your lives, or if you do, maybe some extra love. So today I think our main topic of discussion was going to be WandaVision episode 6. This was the all-new Halloween Spooktacular. So I think I'm going to name this episode the Valentine's Day Spooktacular. I think that'd be pretty funny. But yeah,
it's scary how in love they are.
It's scary how much I love this episode. Well, it was the all right. So this was the Malcolm in the Middle episode, or the parody, it looked like.
It wasn't Seinfeld, which I was bummed out about. But as soon as I saw the intro start, and I was like, "Oh, that's Malcolm! That's Malcolm in the Middle! My childhood! Here we go!" Yeah,
but the thing was, like, that premiered in 2000. So they completely glossed over the 90s.
Yeah, they kind of meshed that together.
They were just like, "Fuck that decade." But yeah, so basically, this was the episode where Pietro, he was introduced the last episode, but now we actually get to see him, interact and do more with the twins. And
Quicksilver, Uncle Quicksilver,
Uncle Quick. So he was basically the bad influence on the twins this episode.
And it's like he knows that he's already dead and everything. He just doesn't care.
He knows something. Yeah.
Something's amiss.
I like it when one of the,
he's like,
I'm
here to give you grief. Like,
right.
Oh, yeah, basically.
He just kind of breaks the fourth wall almost, but he's like asking the questions that everyone in the audience is thinking. Right? And she just had her accent.
Yeah, they brought it back last episode, and it was pretty bad. I was like, I'm so glad they got rid of it.
Matt, what did you think about the X-Men Quicksilver coming over at the end of episode 5 last week?
Oh, I think he left. We offended him.
He did.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Are we that boring? Did we just lose one of them? We just lost our guest star.
Yeah. Well, maybe
we got to pick up the pace.
Yeah. All right. So basically, what stood out to me this episode was when Quicksilver says, "Give them hell, demon spawn." And
right. Is that a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge?
And in the comics, like, I think Wanda's twins originally were like pieces of Mephisto's soul. So I think that's another nod.
I believe that's correct.
Mephisto's behind everything.
Because I think where do they talk about Mephisto? Because I'm not real familiar with him.
He's basically like,
he's so far.
He hasn't appeared in the MCU yet. But
like, what does he look like? I'm trying to think of who he was.
He's the devil, basically, in the Marvel universe. He's like all red. He's like
I'm wondering if he's on that big Marvel drawing I got.
Was that like villains too, or is it just heroes?
There's villains on there too.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, he's like basically. I mean, and also when that came out, it probably was before.
Can he fly? Or is it, I'm
sure. Maybe he's like he can do anything. He's the devil, so
he's got a cape, so I'd imagine he can fly.
He's like all red. He's got a big ass like Billy Ray Cyrus mullet. He looks like the devil, basically, without the horns and the pitchfork. So
yeah, he looks like the Judeo-Christian form of the devil.
Yeah, so that's basically like, he's based off like Mephistopheles. He's based off like Mephistopheles, the demon from the Dr. Faust story. So that's sort of where he gets his name. But
sweet, Mephisto was in this episode?
No, but we think they like what's his name?
Welcome back, Matt.
Says he calls the twins. He like has the twins like going around like spraying silly string on neighbors.
Yeah, they haven't revealed like who's behind all this.
Yeah, they didn't really.
That's what everyone's thinking.
Except that quick. Yeah, go ahead.
That's been my theory since the beginning, is that this was a deal she made with Mephisto, and that's why she has so much power.
And apparently she doesn't remember what happened. Yeah, she had like a little conversation with her brother and saying she doesn't really remember what happened.
Yeah, she didn't like start it all, but she's like in control to some point. But yeah, I mean, what stood out to me was like when Quicksilver said, "Give him hell, demon spawn," and so that's probably a short reference to that. Maybe he's behind everything. I don't know if Evan Peters is playing him or if he's just like illusion that he's bringing into the MCU. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm guessing because this movie leads into the multiverse movie, that the second Doctor Strange movie, which has like multiverse in the subtitle.
Multiverse of Madness, yeah.
Yeah, Multiverse of Madness. So I'm guessing and I think Spider-Man 3, the one with Tom Holland's also going to have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield come back. So I think they're just starting this new multiverse saga, like the Infinity Saga. This is like the next, I guess, big multi-film serial, it seems. So
nice. Did you see the mom tattoo on Quicksilver's arm?
Oh no.
Yeah, so Quicksilver's got a mom tattoo on it. A lot of people like jumped to speculation, thinking like that was Doctor Strange movie we were just talking about.
Oh, Multiverse of Madness, yeah,
Multiverse of Madness. So everyone thought like mom was like a reference to that, but actually he's had that tattoo for a long time. So probably not that.
Yeah, he's sort of. Well, he was originally in, I think, the first Kick-Ass movie, because that's when Scarlet Witch says Kick-Ass.
Both Quicksilvers were.
Yes, exactly. So that's why she says there was a nod. So
very meta.
Like, he had like a very like small role in the first Kick-Ass movie, and now he's like bigger than both those, or like Aaron Taylor Johnson and the Clark Duke. I think they have the two stars in that movie. So it's kind of funny how he's sort of expanded his star power since then.
Kick-Ass.
Yeah, Kick-Ass. That was a good movie.
Right. That was a good movie. Did you like the second one?
I liked it. Yeah, I did. People seem to hate it, but I was like, it is what. I mean, it followed the comic, I think, pretty well.
Yeah, it's not as good as the first one.
It was like it was just a natural progression. It's like, well, we already had like 2 or 3 people dressed into superheroes, and we have to have like a whole army of superheroes. But I liked it for the most part. I liked Jim Carrey in it, even though he was like only in it for 15 minutes. But yeah.
What did you think about the scene with Vision and Agnes?
Well, I think they're definitely portraying her as just another victim in the hexagon, but I don't know.
Do you think that's legitimate? Or you think it's a double bluff?
It might be a double bluff.
Here's my suspicion: is that no one on the outside of town could even move, but she can move and talk even under "quote unquote" her control. Like, it makes me think she was kind of faking it. But then you do see Vision use his power, so I'm not really sure, like, if it's just like a continuity error within the episode itself, just so they could have that scene.
Or if he flew farther back in,
going on.
Because I don't know, I can't really remember.
If, he was. She was at the stop sign of the Ellis Road, right? Which we hear Wanda mentioning earlier in the episode, telling the twins not to go past Ellis Road, right? Because that's kind of like where the border is, or where you can start to see it. That's the edge of the town. So, like, using that logic, since Wanda is in the town square for the Terror Town Square, whatever it is that Agnes was looking for, and Agnes was on the opposite side at the end of it. It's kind of like a radius right there. So she's probably, pretty far away from Wanda.
Yeah.
Whose name is Elizabeth Olsen. I learned that just for this podcast. I know I've been calling her that girl who plays Wanda for the past 4 episodes. And I apologize.
The third Olsen. Well, she's not one of the twins. She's just like a younger sister of the twins.
How about that one lady who apparently got mixed up with the Halloween decorations? How she was just slowly moving back and forth, like she was that Halloween decoration.
I thought it was funny because she reminded me of like that Halloween. Exactly, like she was
like whoever
like
put it all together just got lazy when it got farther away or something.
Yeah.
Oh, but you saw her cry, and you saw that tear roll down her eyes. And I'm like, oh, she is in pain. Like I would be scared too, being trapped like that.
Well, I think like he said, like they're actually like in pain.
Yeah, there's just like nothing they can do,
and she's being forced to hold that position. So I don't know if that's like real or not, or if she's, I don't know. But
I wonder if they constantly know they seem to know afterwards.
It reminds me of that Black Mirror episode when someone's consciousness gets stuck in someone else's body, so like they can see through like the host eyes.
Just nothing they can do,
and like they can talk to the host, but like they're just trapped in there. That's all they can do is just look.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Olsen twins, it was a lost opportunity not doing a Full House parody, because that was in the 90s.
Right?
Yeah. So
you think that was just like too on the nose?
First, you have twins and one of the Olsen.
Yeah,
sisters,
exactly.
And you can't do a Full House parody.
It just seemed like such like a no-brainer.
Yeah. So it's like they should at least done that one for the 90s instead of like Seinfeld or Friends or Married with Children. So. But I guess they just ran out of time. They would rather do.
Let's start a campaign. Rewrite.
Malcolm in the Middle is like the first show they parody that doesn't use the 3-camera technique. So they're not like on a set. They're kind of just like, well, they're on a set, but like Malcolm in the Middle, it's like there's no live audience. so they can use like 360 of the set.
Ah,
So that's what they
Okay.
wanted to do, like in terms of storytelling. They didn't want to do like the not the 2-dimensional, but like the one set with like the 3 cameras on it and like an audience behind them. So I guess I understand from a story.
I also feel like they kind of just dropped the whole Malcolm in the Middle, like as soon as they started going.
It only lasted,
trick-or-treating.
it only lasted like the intro during it.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and then once they started going trick or treating, it was just like a nowadays sitcom.
Well, they had the funny flashbacks, like when they were in Sokovia, like during Halloween. That was like straight Malcolm in the Middle, because they always had those funny flashbacks in that show too.
Yeah, that was good.
So,
Was Quicksilver dressed up as a pirate, or was he dressed up as?
he was dressed up like his classic costume, like with the thunderbolt across. Oh,
No, when he was.
oh
a kid,
yeah.
when
I
he
guess
did
it was
that
a pirate.
flashback, the eye patch
Vision,
on it.
in a way, was kind of.
I was like, is that Nick Fury? Or is that
Vision,
like
in a way,
pirate?
was kind of like a cheaply made Vision or something. Just
Well, he was a Mexican wrestler. He was a Mexican,
Mexican
wrestler. That's what I was like. What the hell is he going as?
But with
Not
the-
himself. Like,
yeah,
Right. I was wondering how they were going to try to play
yeah.
that
It was
off.
like someone, like a kid who made Vision's outfit from memory, just with not a lot of money.
like a cosplayer
with
from the 1980s.
crayon. Are you a booger? Yes, I'm a booger.
A booger with like some blood in it, I guess. 'cause
Oh
of his
yeah, and
face,
how he
so.
totally pretended he's going out on patrol when he was really just going straight out, wondering what's
Yeah,
going on.
sneaky.
Yeah. So I'm wondering. Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna have like another. I wonder if he's gonna like forget everything again. because
Oh,
he went outside and now he's back inside.
or what's the kind of
So-
like tech chick who's outside everything? Who's now?
oh yeah, Darcy's
who
inside
now
the
she's
X, yeah,
in
so-
there. Which I don't think
Yeah.
she got turned in. They
Yeah.
didn't really show what exactly happened to her when she went in. They showed everyone else
Nope.
turning
A
into
mime.
clowns.
That's
and
something
stuff, but-
And mimes. Yeah, it's so funny. Like they're running away, then they become clowns. They're still running.
yeah. It is pretty funny how they made everything like change like that.
Yeah, and well, what's interesting is like we still don't know who Monica's engineering friend is, and I think the prevailing.
No, I thought we were going to find that out.
I think,
but guess
yeah.
not.
So it's like that would have been like I think the cool reveal, but I think the prevailing theory is that it's Reed Richards. So they're
Well, so I heard that if you watch it in like Spanish or a language that uses gender endings, that the person she's referring to is a female.
okay.
Although in this last episode, she said, "I got a guy." Guy kind of these days is like gender neutral.
Oh yeah. Well, I
so
was thinking maybe if not her,
I think that was like throwing it off.
because it couldn't be Jane because she was like an astrophysicist. She was an engineer.
Is this how Jane gets cancer?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because they're setting up Thor: Love and Thunder. So I don't know because I didn't think
Right.
she was an engineer, but maybe it was like I don't know. But I think the prevailing theory is that this is how they're going to introduce Reed Richards. But that might be a little too big of a reveal. I think there would have been like some sort of casting announcement or something. That or it could be Shuri from Wakanda. You know.
Yeah, I think at this point I'd be more excited to meet a new character. It'd be great to see Shuri again, but I think I'd like to meet someone new.
Yeah, I don't know who else it could be, like engineering wise. But yes, I'm at a loss. So we'll see. I have a feeling it's probably going to be like an old character we've already seen, but it could be a new one.
Like Edward Norton.
Please no.
Just throwing my theory back out there from last episode.
Yeah. Yeah. What else happened? Well, the twins were in their classic. Well, at least the older one, not the older one, but the Billy with the bandana. That was his costume as Wiccan from the comics. So.
Yeah, and then that was Speed's original costume. Like I think OG costume when he first got introduced.
Okay.
So that was nice how they played it off.
I've never read.
And then, what do you think about their hair? They kind of had like some Wolverine hair. I know that was like a throwback, or just.
I think it was just a throwback. I think it was like a
fast.
throwback to his original Quicksilver's original look. So.
And what kind of powers does
You
the
know.
kids have? They kind of
Well,
like
they're the
whatever,
kid.
or they-
Well, they're like the twins. Like the Tommy it can run fast like Quicksilver, and Wiccan with the bandana can do magic like Wanda. So
or just stop.
yeah, so they're basically
Yeah, and can hear really well or something.
I think that was more telekinetic.
Yeah, I think it was like telepathy.
like hearing
a
into,
mental connection.
Yeah, connecting.
Yeah,
to
because I think
vision.
Wanda is like telepathic in this show.
Oh yeah, because he wasn't just here. Yeah,
she's
because he
both.
said he could see the soldiers and stuff.
Yeah. And then Wanda goes like full on attack mode on Quicksilver.
God, just freezes
Quicksilver.
freezes the
What
whole
a-
town. And
What a
just
dick
deads
thing
it
to
out.
say.
Yeah, like Professor
Well,
X.
it's not they can hear your dead twice.
Oh yeah, your dead husband can't die twice.
Oh,
I think
it
she
just
knows
blasts
that's not
him
her
out.
brother.
Yeah.
Dude, every time she
So-
just suddenly sees one of them like still dead, it's just those little jump scare moments they try to do.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't remember.
I'm getting tired of it. Tired of jumping.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember those Malcolm in the Middle,
Yeah.
which also has Walter White.
Right? He's so good. I like that Bryan Cranston guy.
Yeah, I think he's a good actor. So that's all I say. Yeah, anything else? So I guess that was all the big things that happened in the episode. I think a lot of people want like a.
Did you notice Vision like smack this kid with a newspaper in
yeah.
the intro?
Yeah, I was like,
I thought that was kind of violent.
I was like, I wonder if there could be like some like complaints about child abuse in the.
Wait, what'd he do?
Well, like in the intro, in the opening credits, it shows like Billy or whatever, like holding a camera, like following the whole family.
Oh,
around.
in that
Vision.
little intro.
And Vision like
And he steals his
rolls up the
newspaper.
newspaper and like brings it down on the
Just
camera.
slaps him in the face over it.
But I guess technically he's hitting the camera, not hitting the child, though.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's like
I
looking
remember
at
him
the
like
look on his face
chasing
is
him,
like,
but I don't remember him hitting him.
Yeah, it's after he phases through the couch.
Yeah, I remember.
yeah,
doing
he's like, you fucked up now.
that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, when your whole
He's just-
family
he's
can
a-
just freely use powers.
you got to like lay down the law, I guess sometimes. But
Oh, speaking of a family using powers, you guys notice the Incredibles movie queue at the back of the theater during
Is there
the,
another Incredibles?
Town Square festivities?
There-
No, this is like because it was like during the 2000s.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
background. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
They even had the little poster on the
So
wall.
everyone
and stuff.
knows the Incredibles is kind of like a rip off of or an homage to like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
But it could also be talking about this family that has superpowers. What do you guys think? Is this more Fantastic Four foreshadowing? Fantastic foreshadowing, or is this
It's
more
totally
talking about
lots of little Easter eggs.
WandaVision family?
I think it was just an Easter egg, just because it's a similar situation. It's a family,
And
with
plus,
superpowers,
Disney has
so I
them
think
now,
it's-
so they can put Disney stuff in there.
That's true. Yeah, they can put
Absolutely.
as much Pixar stuff as they want.
The other movie was Parent Trap, which is famously a movie about kids trying to keep their parents together.
Oh, I thought it was because they had twins. That's what I was
It could
thinking.
also be in homage to twins. It's
Yeah.
probably both.
So, what were predictions for next week's episode? I guess they're going to go into the 2000 or late 2000s with The Office or Modern Family.
I wonder if they're going to be
Modern
showing
Family. I haven't seen it.
It seems-
Great.
It feels like they might be.
If Vision can do like a jump stare at the camera, I'll just lose my mind.
If they what?
That'd be a lot of fun. If Vision does like a jump stare at the camera, like Wanda says something and then
that's
Jim
definitely
Oh,
gonna happen.
what was
there's gonna be
Vision stares at the camera and like
Did
that'd
you
be
guys
great.
catch the commercial? I didn't catch what the commercial was.
Oh, I think it's like the is it the shark and the kid on the island? And it's like
Yeah, was
stop
there a
motion
reference to
claymation.
Yo,
a
magic.
Marvel thing?
It's a parody of Go-Gurt. It's a parody of Go-Gurt, right? Remember that yogurt issue,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
which I haven't had in like.
Like,
Well,
you
like
could
what was that
open
at
it.
the end? It was like he
Like-
was stuck there, like just constantly.
because you could open it and then
Like, that had to have been a
died of
reference to
starvation.
some other
Well,
Marvel.
I think it's a
character or
reference to
something.
like the shark. Like the boy is Wanda and the shark is whoever's controlling the reality. So he's like slowly sucking her power over time.
well, that's a reach there. You might be right, but I didn't see that at all. I
Sort
think
of like in,
going back to the theory we had last week, it's just her subconscious dealing with like all the trauma in her past, and being stuck under like a table with her brother, waiting for that
Well, it's like
Stark bomb to go off. Like
Well-
that's she could be starving then.
the shark gives the kid what he wants. So like the Mephisto or whatever might be giving her this reality, but at a price.
Oh, that
He's
is
sort
deep.
of sucking her power or her life essence. So even though like she has what she wants, it's not real, or she can't like get any sustenance from it, and at the same time she's losing her life energy.
Yeah.
That was my sort
You're
of
giving magic.
takeaway from it.
Okay, I like
Well,
that. But
So someone
can't-
gave
can't
Wanda
heal you.
magic, and it is now destroying her. And it is a
Well, he gave her
foreshadowing.
this.
of
He gave her
Vision's
this
fate.
reality. That could be it too.
Well,
so.
I've been thinking since the second or third episode that the ultimate finale will be that she gives up her powers, and some sort of sacrifice to either the twins or Vision.
Oh yeah.
I like
she's
that
good
idea.
thing to do.
However, she's going to be in the next Doctor Strange movie, and if she doesn't have her powers, then she's going to be incredibly boring.
Yeah, I think she's going to have like a big part to do in the new Doctor Strange. So,
like, I think she's going to like Hayward's going to piss her off so much, like she becomes evil, or like the antagonist, and then like Multiverse of Madness is going to be like Doctor Strange versus Wanda.
Oh, this is interesting. Commercial could have been a nod to the fact that this resurrected Vision can't survive without Wanda's powers. Just like the boy shrivels up and dies when he doesn't get the yogurt, Vision is doomed to decay without the energy field covering Westview as his life source.
oh, okay, that's true. Yes, the boy.
Robbie, what an
Vision.
excellent idea! Did you just come up with that off the top of your head? That was
He
so
wasn't
eloquently
Google
stated.
at all.
You know, he
was-
literally said, "I just read it. I just read this article."
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm guessing the next episode will be The Office or Modern Family. I don't know what the big sitcom is now in the 2020s since we're only like a year in. But maybe
Would it be?
sitcom in 2020. Brooklyn Nine-Nine
Superstore.
maybe. So a lot of it's just like this, The Good Place maybe. That's another one people like.
Well, I figured since it's
Yeah,
when they get to the 2020s, they'll be, at the time and place where they're currently at, and therefore the sitcoms will end and something's going to happen before that point. So there won't be a sitcom nod. It'll just come back to reality.
Okay.
okay.
It'll just be an
The-
idyllic
the-
reality.
By then, that's an interesting thought. What do you think about the series so far, Matt? This is your first time on the podcast.
So I've been struggling with keeping up with it, more so because like part of the Marvel strategy over the last 20 years has been to get these characters who they had licenses for, who are really like not main characters, and pumping them up. And Wanda and Vision, they're just not like these major characters. They're really scraping kind of the bottom of the barrel. And I have yet to like see anything that gets me invested in her character really throughout this series. It's just kind of like a 20-minute, and then 10 minutes of credits, and you're just like, okay, well, what's going to be next week's episode? So it's been kind of frustrating to watch. I was really expecting much better writing. Ultimately, I'm going to end up watching them anyways, but I'm just not invested at all in either character.
Yeah, I mean, I think the character's been around like since as long as like the X-Men and the other Avengers and like Fantastic Four and like the more popular heroes, but yeah, they haven't really had as much success outside comics.
I did have to
since,
push through the first
Avengers.
2 episodes, basically.
Yeah, it's like if you don't like those sitcoms or you don't like understand, like don't like the premise of them parroting these sitcoms,
It
you're
did
probably not
bring
going to enjoy
back
it.
like
But I think
some
the
old
actual
memories as a kid, like my parents or grandparents watching some similar sitcoms and stuff.
But the
Right,
the problem is,
exactly.
at the end of the day, you're watching a parody of a crappy sitcom. Like it's almost like the joke is on the viewer.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody wanted
I-
to
I-
watch like the first episode or 2 at least.
Well, I think the original plan was to release them all at once. So, like, even if you don't like the first episode, you can at least, see the end game that same day.
Yeah.
But I think Disney Plus was just like, we need to like release these once a week so we can maintain subscriptions for another 2 months.
Yeah, because I can't.
Because all we
and
have
then
is
brought him
Mandalorian
back a
right
couple
now.
times already.
Yeah, and they're smart because Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to like premiere like a week or 2 weeks after WandaVision. So like
So now
Disney's
they're
just like,
Oh, they could totally just
Disney's
release
just
all
like
this
for-
stuff like crazy if they wanted to.
yeah, and I think Loki's going to follow after Falcon and Winter Soldier. So it's like and maybe like Miss Marvel and Hawkeye after that. I don't know if like right away, but pretty soon after. So I
but
mean,
it's
I
on
think
the
the next 4 months people aren't going to be dropping their subscriptions, and so it's a smart business play. And we still don't know if Black Widow is going to come out in May. I think Feige was just like absolutely like we're not going to release it on Disney Plus. That's not going to happen. So how is that going to like mess the timeline though? Even though it's a prequel, so it might not even mess it up that much. But because it takes place like after Civil War, right? So like in this timeline, that's like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's like 2015, 2017. It's like a sequel.
And then now it's like the show takes place. What's funny like about the pandemic is like everything got postponed a year. But like the Marvel universe, like the current Marvel universe takes place like 2023 or 2024. It takes place in the future, but like they keep postponing things. We'll be caught up.
Right.
It'll be present day again. Yeah. So
it's all part of Disney's plan.
Yeah, they started the. No, I won't say that. We might get sued. They seem like the kind of people who would sue. But yeah, let's get on the next topic. Falcon Winter Soldier trailer. Did y'all watch the Super Bowl trailer?
Yes. So last week I talked about how I actually shared a lot of Matt's concerns about how, like, no one knew who Iron Man was, and a lot of people weren't even sure if it was like a real guy or if it was like a Terminator kind of version, like when the movie was first coming out. So like Marvel does have like a really great track record of taking, even characters like, Guardians of the Galaxy, these people the only hardcore fans know about, and bringing them into the public zeitgeist. So like, they're pretty good with that. But I was talking, I shared Matt's sentiment last week actually about how I, don't really care to watch a Robin and Batgirl show. Speaking in analogies, I just like, why do I don't really care about Bucky. But then the Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer came out on the Super Bowl. Had to go online and watch the full version, and it looks hell of a more exciting than I thought it was going to be. So I am switching my opinion. I'm really looking forward to this show now.
Yeah, it's like basically what can they do now that Chris Evans like walked away? It's like they want to continue the Captain America like IP. They want to keep adapting it, but if Chris Evans doesn't want to continue being part of the MCU, they basically like this is the next best thing. I feel, and I know both Sam and Bucky become Captain America in the comics, so it's not like a revolutionary idea for them to one of them take the mantle. Well, Falcon in this case.
Do you think either one of them end up being Captain America by the end of the series?
Well, yeah, I think Sam's supposed to wind up as Captain America at the end, because I know they have like they had the bad Captain America. John Walker is going to be in this, and I think he's basically just going to like become a psychopath or just become like too violent. I think that he doesn't properly.
I think Bucky and Falcon are gonna like at the beginning of the series they're gonna be like opponents, and it's gonna be funny. They're gonna be like battling each other for the crown, basically. And then they're gonna have to team up to fight this evil Captain America. And then by the end of the season, they're gonna realize that neither one of them need to be Captain America because they're their own badass superheroes themselves. Like, what point of it would be for Falcon to have a Captain America shield, like we saw in the trailer? Like, he can use his wings to protect himself. That would just look weird if he was flying around with mechanical wings and a shield.
I thought the same thing.
Well, I think they've had him do the shield and the wings in the comics, but it's like it does seem a little awkward. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I like that we're going to see Baron Zemo. There's going to be more Baron Zemo-ish than we saw in Civil War.
Because he's going to have his iconic purple mask.
Yep. So I guess he'll, something more comic accurate than what we saw in Civil War. Because like Civil War, he was just like a dude who was
he was more than a super villain.
He was kind of like more of a nerdy, out of shape guy. He didn't really come off as like a soldier, but we'll see how it goes. I liked it. I thought it was it was like the only movie trailer, or not movie trailer, but like TV trailer that came out. Well, that's actually a CBS pushed a lot of their stuff, like the Clarice show, which looks awful.
Yeah,
because they can't mention Hannibal Lecter. They don't have the rights to Hannibal Lecter. They only have the rights to Silence of the Lambs, but they can only mention Buffalo Bill and stuff from that story that doesn't involve Lecter. So it's gonna be really heavy-handed how they're gonna like adapt that.
I will not be watching it. Any of you guys? No. What about Falcon and Winter Soldier?
It has potential. It has potential.
I'll see.
And I'm curious to see the ending and if they try to tie it into Doctor Strange. And the reason why I say that is because Captain Britain is trapped in the multiverse in the comics. And if Doctor Strange is going to be going throughout the multiverse, it'd be interesting if they use that to kind of tie the movies together. But once again, that might be going way, way down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I think this is more just like a down-to-earth, like political thriller, like the Winter Soldier movies. So probably like less supernatural stuff, but you never know. I think definitely I think Doctor Strange might have a cameo at the end of WandaVision, at the end of that season. But Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think what they're going to do is they're going to tease a lot. They're going to build in the Thunderbolts because they have like U.S. Agent, Winter Soldier.
The Abomination's still out there somewhere.
Yep. So I think they're slowly going to be building Thunderbolts. That's what they're going to be teasing in this show, because like each movie teases another character, another franchise they can start, and I think that's what they're going to be doing with Falcon Winter Soldier. I also think they're introducing like another young Avenger in Falcon Winter Soldier, like the one called Patriot. He's like the Black Captain America. Or like his grandfather was Black Captain America in the 40s, and he's the grandson of the Black Captain America. So I think that's what they're sort of going for in this. That's what they'll be teasing. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's definitely be a lot more action heavy than WandaVision. So
he looks cool.
But so I think it only has like maybe 6 episodes. So it should be. I think it's gonna be, and they'll be showing Madripoor, which I don't know if you read the comics, but that's like a huge location in the Marvel universe. It's like a big city where a lot of criminals and drug kingpins sort of coalesce.
Lay low there.
So it's like it's like basically like the crime capital of the world in the Marvel universe. So it's cool, and I think like it's usually used in the X-Men comics. So I think they might be using this show to introduce some X-Men elements into the MCU. So. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So, and we don't have to wait. I think it premieres in March, so we don't have to wait like a month or so. So yeah, looking forward to it. Hey, did you watch it?
Yeah,
Rob?
the trailer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that.
Like, yeah, it good.
I think.
Yeah, I like the whole group therapy session, the couples therapy.
Yeah. One of you guys good. Blink.
How old are you guys? Yeah. Did you see the petition going around to get Monica Rambeau and Jimmy Woo to get their own little TV spinoff, like X-Files?
Yeah. Well, I think Monica's going to be in Captain Marvel 2. I think that's what they're setting her up for. But I think Jimmy Woo might get his own like
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind
of. Agent. Well, I think it was like Agent of Atlas sort of thing. That's what it's called. Like that's what he's a member of. In the comics. So it's a fictional superhero team composed of characters originally appearing in unrelated stories in the 1950s by Atlas Comics. Okay.
I think they'll probably be like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think they're going to like be heavy pushing S.H.I.E.L.D. like through this next phase. Yeah,
because because Jimmy Woo premiered in like 1956, so he's been around for a while. Yeah, it'd be cool. I mean, there's so many things they can do. Like they can like make spinoffs of. That's like ridiculous. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I was a little disappointed there wasn't a Loki trailer, but 30 million a pop for commercials. I don't blame them for not doing it. So, but yeah, so the next bit of news I had was The Last of Us, the new HBO show. They cast Joel and Ellie. So they got Pedro Pascal as Joel.
Ooh.
Now, Rob, have you played The Last of Us on the PlayStation?
A good game.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that game.
Man, it's been a long time since I played the first one. Something about he had to take her. Man, I got to look up some of the details again.
Well, it's basically like Mandalorian. It's like this guy's trying to protect this child.
Yeah, and it gets like real harsh environment. Like they have no attachment to each other at the beginning. Well, the second game you're playing as a girl.
You're playing as the girl that killed Joel. Spoiler.
Well, she's basically trying to get revenge for them killing him.
But you're also playing as the chick that
I
killed
actually
Joel
didn't
for a big portion of the game.
Yet.
So that's what people are
kind of
pissed off
stopped
about.
Around.
Oh.
Well, I basically
spoilers.
Well, I got as far as you play as the chick who killed him, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Why am I playing as her?
Yeah, it was.
I wasn't real happy about that either.
That.
It just felt weird.
Because at least like when you play as the Arbiter, it's kind of like if the Arbiter had killed Master Chief and you play as the Arbiter for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it would be like. So it was just sort of like, and they kind of like had Joel act out a character.
That was kind of why I stopped playing.
Kill him. Like he's usually like very usually very suspicious, very careful, and like he's like, sure, we'll trust these people we don't know, and we'll give them my first name.
But the feel and the visuals of the game were amazing, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think like
the
I think the gameplay was the gameplay was very.
It
looked good to me, and and I think it's very
it is,
adult,
especially the second one.
It doesn't like pull punches.
It gets gory.
It doesn't pull punches. At least it's like a pretty still violent, adult oriented game. Despite I think they made some storytelling missteps. But yes, I mean, I think this will be, I mean, it's from the guy who made
Love it.
Chernobyl. Have y'all seen that show?
Yeah, Chernobyl was great.
Yeah, Chernobyl. So the guy who wrote that is writing this. So, I mean, it's interesting how they're going to set it apart from the video game. The video game's already pretty cinematic from what I see. So I'm interested in how they're going to like deviate or maybe, I don't think they can improve, but, you know, I think it'll be interesting. You know, it'll just be like the video game, just live action.
I was going to say, what would happen if
Because
they made the movie out of like the first 2 games? Would you be happy with that, or would you be pissed?
well, it's gonna be a TV show, so I mean, I think it's just gonna like I don't expect to do like a shot.
Yeah,
for
I'm sure
shot
they're
remake of
gonna
the video game.
go
Okay.
a little
Hopefully
their own ways
they'll
at parts.
Yeah, and people are gonna be like, I don't like that, but you know, I think with any adaptation, like, well, this could be like one of the best video game adaptations ever because you know the best video game adaptation we have so far that's live action is Sonic the Hedgehog and Mortal Kombat. So it's not really saying much. So this could actually like break the video game curse.
I liked Warcraft, for the record.
Oh yeah,
It's so bad.
I never played WoW.
I knew it.
I've never played WoW. Like,
The movie's bad.
I got I got it on like 4K. It was like one of the first like 4K Blu-rays I bought because it was one of the first 4K Blu-rays available. It was just really pretty. I didn't understand any of the lore, so maybe it was like just a dog shit movie. It was terrible, but I just figured I didn't understand any of it because I've never played any of the games. Like watching Pokemon, not knowing what's happening.
Yeah, I just had no interest in watching it, and when I saw the reviews, my disinterest continued.
Yeah, I just got it for the graphics. For the graphics.
But yeah, I imagine. Yeah, so I don't know what the timetable is for this show. I imagine I'll probably premiere in 2022 because they've only just cast the 2 leads.
And
who knows?
Pedro Pascal, who's Ellie?
Some girl from Game of Thrones. I think she was one of the Mormonts. Or I don't know. She was like a child. She's like a child actor who was on Game of Thrones. I think I stopped watching before I got to her part.
You stopped watching?
I only watched I only watched where I read, and I've actually read the first book.
Are you one of
most
those
of the second?
people?
Well, yeah, it's just like the book. Oh, I mean, obviously the book's way better than the show, but I just want to absorb the book, the story via the book first before I watch it on the show because there's some things they did in the show from what I read that they changed that I didn't like.
Oh, like
so I would rather just
last 2 seasons for
was
the
that?
Whole last season or last 2 seasons for some people.
Well, the last season they just made it up out of their ass. So, but I might just wait till he finishes writing them, then read them all, then watch the whole show. Because they're already doing like a house. They're already doing like a House of
they
House
got
of Dragon
3 spinoffs kind of from Game of Thrones.
So that's a show no one needs to read anything before watching. Yeah. So I might just hop into that, but I think there's like another prequel that had a pilot with like who's the chick from King Kong? Naomi Watts, I think.
Maybe.
I think they shot like a Game of Thrones spinoff with her, and they passed on it.
Yeah, they've passed on it.
So yeah, the Game of Thrones prequel pilot starring Naomi Watts is not going to series at HBO. So this is last year, so they passed on this project. I don't know if this could be another prequel. But yeah, so it was like the cast and the crew of the pilot were informed that the HBO had passed on the potential series was going to take place thousands of years prior to the events of the original series. So it sounds just like House of the Dragon. So I guess they just like retooled the premise or whatever, and they're just doing it differently. So like HBO is just like, we don't have Game of Thrones anymore. Westworld isn't really taking off the way we wanted it to.
Westworld. Oh my gosh. We have one interesting premise about our TV show, and we're going to throw it away after 2 seasons.
Yeah, I didn't watch Westworld season 3. I heard it wasn't that great. Apparently, it's just called Normal World or Future World.
I wasn't excited about season 3 , but it's pretty good.
Well, it had Jesse from Breaking Bad, so it was like, oh.
And you know, I watched Westworld season 3 before I watched Breaking Bad, so it's fun to watch this guy play.
I think it's getting really political. I think. Just because, you know, it's just like, you know, man bad, woman good. So I think it was just like, you know, the storytelling just sort of like became way more focused on social politics than good storytelling. But the first season I thought was pretty well done. And the second one too, I liked some bits and pieces of.
Yeah.
I mostly enjoyed season 2. But they kind of made Dolores completely unlikable. Yep. And, you know, you didn't really root for her. And that doesn't really change in season 3. From what I think I watched the first episode at least, but yeah, she just accused Marilyn Manson of like sexual abuse. I think so, which I think if you're in a relationship with Marilyn Manson, you're gonna have to like be privy to some pretty freaky stuff.
I would imagine so. It should always be consensual, though. But like, yeah. That's like looking at Ozzy and be like, "Did you just bite that head off of that dove?" And you'd be like, "Yeah."
I'm sure Ozzy's pretty. I'm pretty sure. I think Ozzy's a lot more normal than Marilyn Manson. I mean, Ozzy basically does a lot of drugs and has long hair and does like bite off the heads off bats, but that's usually because he's high on drugs. Like Marilyn Manson would do that like straight face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just don't like Marilyn Manson because of his music. I've just never been a fan of his music at all.
All right, I just want to point out that that's I think the fourth straight episode that Forrest has interjected sad news into the podcast.
Yeah, because I mentioned
what is going on with your Google Trend?
Why
is that? Like, what? Why are all these rape allegations?
Well, no, it just shows up on. I think it showed up on CBR for some reason, like Comic Book Resources. Like, what does this have to do with comic books? But it shows up like the Danny Masterson thing showed up on CBR. The Marilyn Manson thing showed up on CBR. Like every time, like celebrities accused, like Joss Whedon. The Joss Whedon stuff makes sense because he directed the Avengers, but. I think there's a new Joss Whedon accuser this week. Like the girl who played Cordelia. Like he didn't like assault her. He just like bullied her and like tried to push her to get an abortion, I think, or something like that.
That's a damn shame.
Or yes. So like, and I think Sarah Michelle Gellar didn't like make any accusations, but she like was just like, I stand with the accusers. And I think the guy who played Giles was just like he was having a rough time trying to accept it. Not saying like he didn't accept it, but it was just like, oh shit, I had no idea. So, but it's a shame because people seem to like Buffy a lot, and it has this like dark shadow over it now. I had no idea this week that the guy who played Hyde on That 70s Show is the older brother of Francis on Malcolm in the Middle. Did anyone know that? Okay, I think I might have known. I mean, I think they look exactly the same, but I had no idea they were brothers. So, I guess the Fox channel loves that family. So. But I think they're both like Scientologists too, the Mastersons. So they're probably just like effed up in the head anyway.
Don't sue us.
Allegedly. Oh yeah, we're gonna get sued. Yeah, I'm sure they listen to this.
Yeah,
Francis is our only listener.
About Tom Cruise an episode or two ago. Go back and listen to it and check it out.
We love Tom Cruise. He's the best. He would never do anything
Speaking
wrong.
Of people who you thought couldn't get canceled, what do you think about Gina Carano?
Oh, great segue because that's our next topic. Well, I thought we were going to do like a Pedro Pascal Mandalorian, and we could like segue off that. But I guess that works too. Well, she didn't like do anything sexual or
Pascal playing Joel.
Well, I mean, like he's playing Joel, so I mean, I think it's a good choice. I think he'll do a good job.
I never played the game.
I'm sure.
I like Pedro Pascal as an actor.
I mean, I've seen enough of the game, of the footage to like know what the story is. It's like basically like zombie apocalypse, but instead of like zombies, they're just like this fungus that takes over a person's mind and makes them go rabid.
So how will this affect filming for Mandalorian season 3 and going forward?
How long have they started filming? I have no idea. I imagine
I'm sorry because
they didn't really need him on set.
Like in his contract, there was like a non-compete clause with HBO.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I guess he's a free agent
kind
now.
of.
I don't think they can do that like with sports. Like, I mean, I think you can like work for whoever hires you. I don't think like, cause it's not like, in the old days, like the 50s, like you actors would sign a contract.
Right. Like a 7-picture. They do that, but it's just not as common.
Yeah. I mean, I think directors do that with like some studios, like they'll sign but I think actors can work
like
for
Bad
whoever,
Robots.
for whomever. Cause I think
didn't Netflix.
There's been so many actors that have worked for both Marvel and DC. Because like Jared Leto's playing the Joker and Morbius. Ryan Reynolds played Green Lantern, and he was never going to do Green Lantern again. But he's playing Deadpool. So like actors go back and forth to studios all the time. I mean, I think like in some cases, like Tom Cruise, Paramount might want to keep him just because he's a big star and he's a big producer on those movies too. So that's sort of a different situation because they're like both part of the filmmaking process. They're not just acting. So. But yeah, I don't think it's an issue. I think like he should be able to work for whatever studio he wants to.
I agree.
So, but yeah, Gina Carano getting fired. I think like basically like she's been pro-Trump for the most part, but I think like what broke the camel's back was the comparing conservatives to Jews in the Holocaust. So that was, I think, what got her fired.
Yeah, that sounds like that could happen anytime anyone would make that comparison. She did that on social media.
Yeah, I mean, I thought. Yeah, she did on social media.
So you actually have a Holocaust on social media. How hard is it people who are way more successful, rich, and
Yeah.
famous than I am. It's just, like Twitter should have like a auto filter for that. Like, are you sure you want to post about the Holocaust? Like, regardless of of anything like you're saying about it.
It was just like so random, not random, but it's like,
What your comments were?
Well, they're all just like, this is how it could happen. Like, it hasn't happened yet, or it hasn't happened at all. Like, based on evidence, like no one's like been violent against conservatives. Look at like the Capitol riots. The opposite happened there, but they're just like, this is what could happen.
This looks gross here. It says she also mocked the use of gender pronouns, listing beep, bop, and boop in her social media bio instead of her, she, they.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you put that on Twitter, you're gonna like be a magnet for controversy. Yeah. So, I mean, but now she's working with Ben Shapiro, who does the Daily Wire. I think he's already produced a movie called Run and Hide. It's like some sort of like school shooting movie, Run, Hide, Fight. So that was his first movie, and I think it had like Thomas Jane in it. So maybe he's let's see, got like 6.5 on Rotten. I mean,
I see.
IMDb, so yeah, Thomas Jane in it.
Good for this. I'm glad she got canceled and fired.
What?
I didn't really like her character that much on The Mandalorian.
I mean, what kills me is that this wasn't her first run-in with social media. During filming of season 2, she sent stuff out that had a huge backlash, and she almost got fired back then. And yet she continued. So it's not like this came out of nowhere. But I mean,
apparently they were looking for months for an excuse to fire her. So this was just like the match on the bed of kerosene.
I mean, Georgia elected a woman who believes in Jewish space lasers. Yeah. So it's a very, very interesting time for her.
But as for her character,
for people in America.
As for her character, like, I didn't like how it was developed at all. She's this elite former rebel, jump trooper, and immediately the very first episode she's in, she gets her ass kicked twice, and
I can't remember. It was like, I can't
and they already kind of wrote her out anyways when she accepted the job with, the new government, because it's no longer the rebel anymore. But even when she popped back in for an episode last season, I was kind of rolling my eyes, going,
Yeah.
Well, I think she was going to like have a starring role in the Rangers: The New Republic spinoff series. So I think that was her plan. Nope. So she just like threw away that paycheck. But she's working with Ben Shapiro now. I guess they're going to like do a new movie that's like not trying to be left. I guess that's sort of like what they're. I think I'm not sure what the company's called or his production company, but it's. I know. So apparently she got hired by him. Even though Ben Shapiro is Jewish, he's a conservative Jew, and apparently he wasn't phased by her comparison to the Holocaust. So who knows? I guess he's more conservative than he is Jewish. So, basically the final topic I had for today was the Snyder Cut trailer. Did everyone, I guess, Major watched it. Rob watched it. I'm about Matt. So, what do y'all? I mean, it's basically, to me, it just looks like what we expected a Snyder movie to be, just very dark,
lots of
very violent, very red, very hopeless, very
allegories. We get that, guys.
I think the biggest takeaway was just like Jared Leto at the end.
Is happening?
That's Joker. So basically, what he like, I think he shot his scenes like a week ago. So basically, the idea that there was a Snyder cut at all is like a lie, because like there's stuff they're all adding since they got approved. So, but I think they're definitely trying to hone in on the the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, because he says like we live in a society where there's no honor. So like he's all against society or whatever.
Joaquin's Taxi Driver. Okay.
Yeah,
that movie was not about the Joker. The Joker doesn't have an origin story. There's no thematic elements from comic books.
Well, he has an origin story in the sense that he was the Red Hood. He fell into a vat of acid.
Allegedly, in one of the continuities.
Basically all we know. Well, I think like most of them. He's like, I think like Scott Snyder, like Bill Finger, Alan Moore, Scott Snyder.
I love how Batman creates enemies.
But it's like basically,
I think it's very poetic.
We just don't know who he was before he was Red Hood. I think so. That's
Red Hood
was.
But Tim Drake, Jason Todd.
No, Jason. Well, Jason Todd took up the mantle of Red Hood because
there's so many Red Hoods out there. Yeah, okay. The original Red Hood Like, yeah, he was just some no-name
Joker.
comedian who got picked up for a job because he was broke, and
Well, in the Killing Joke, yeah. But like I think in like the Bill Finger version, like he was a criminal called Red Hood. Then he fell into the vat of acid and became even worse. And then I think in like the Scott Snyder, he's like a leader of the Red Hood gang. And I think he's like more villainous, but he's not quite the Joker yet. But Batman throws him into the acid then,
kind of like
during 0 year. So there's different variations, but it's basically the same. He's Red Hood, falls in the vat of acid. We don't know who he is before he was Red Hood. So it's an interesting way to give him an origin story, but not tell who he is. I guess he fell in the acid and got washed off.
That'd be really funny if they explain that in the movie, like in continuity. It's just like I'm seeing in the beginning, like before like Justice League even pops up, it's just like Batman
throwing them like just trying to correct Joker mistakes. If that's how it happened.
Yeah,
they were tempos.
I can't
tempo
wait
tattoos.
to see
Zack
Snyder make Batman kill a million people. He's gonna be like, just fuck you trolls. Like, my Batman kills everyone and uses all the guns. Like, think about like the opportunity Zack Snyder had. He came out with the Justice movie, him and Joss Whedon or whatever. But like, he got to hear every single complaint about how bad this movie was and all the bad parts of this movie for 2 straight years. Like, if this movie isn't damn near perfect when it comes out, there's no way it'll ever live up to expectations.
Well, to be fair, he had a large portion of the online community telling him what a genius he was. So that probably emboldened him to not change a thing or like to keep with his, vision. But I don't know. I just want this to be over. I just want it to come out and like let them move on to something more
fantastic.
Resembling the comics.
They give Zack Snyder more stuff to do because like Zack Snyder, like if Zack Snyder made.
Oh God, I don't want to do any more DC
movie,
stuff after this.
Like, he's going to do a great job with that.
That's basically what this is. Well, I think I heard a theory that I've probably said this on the podcast before that Snyder's Justice League universe is actually the Crime Syndicate universe, secretly with all the evil versions of the Justice League. So like Superman's Ultraman, Batman's Owlman, Wonder Woman's Superwoman. So these are all the evil versions, the origins of the evil versions of the characters. And the real Justice League is in another universe somewhere. So I like that theory, but I don't know. I just wanted to come out like I'm glad he was able to finish his movie, and I don't know, but I don't want to do any more DC stuff after this. Maybe like more adult themed or mature graphic novels like Ronin. I think I've heard he'd be a good director for that.
Ronan's awesome. You should definitely check it out.
Or some other stuff. Yeah, so I imagine him doing that because I think he and Frank Miller already have a good relationship because they did like 300 together, and they did. BVS was basically Dark Knight Returns in a sense because they had actual lines from the comic in BVS, so from Dark Knight Returns, so that was heavily influenced by that. So I think Frank Miller still loves him. Oh God, I don't think that was in it. I think Frank Miller would be a better writer than that. So. But yeah, I think I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably check it out.
Thumbs up, thumbs down for the
new. I probably will end up watching it, but I keep asking myself as to why DC can't get its shit straight, whereas Marvel is just flying. Like, I mean, look at Wonder Woman. Like all these DC superheroes are just flat, and the movies are just bad. And
shitting the bed.
Well, it was just like. I think they just gave too much power, or they don't. There's no middle ground. They either give the director too much power, or they don't give him any power. Like in the case of Ayer, like he had like no power to for the final edit of his movie, and then they gave Patty Jenkins all this power, and she went up completely dropping the ball.
Vision under like at DC like movies. Like if you think about it, like they try to do their own thing. They try to play catch up to Marvel. The first couple of movies weren't super well received, so then they were like, all right, well, let's just try to become Marvel, right? Like turning Suicide Squad from like the Ayers cut into like the kind of fun campy swing and the miss movie we see today. Like I think if DC just had more confidence to be themselves and be like, all right, well, you know what, you guys can have Thor Ragnarok and that LSD trip, but we're gonna give you like a dark and gritty like Batman series where Edward Cullen punches a guy in the face until he dies.
It kills me though, because even with like their independent comics, like Hellboy, they redid that and it was horrible.
Trash.
Like even these side projects.
That main actor is so good. The guy from Stranger Things, David Harbour. Like that sucks. David Harbour. That they messed that up too. But then you look like the dark. You look at the dark.
Well, it starts to
universe,
run,
and
yeah,
like that's had like 14 resurrections trying to restart that, and it's still like not like it hasn't taken off the ground.
Well, they only did the Mummy, and then that fell flat, and they canceled everything else because I think Javier Bardem was going to be Frankenstein. Yeah. Angelina Jolie was going to be Bride of Frankenstein.
That was good. That was very well.
I think Johnny Depp was supposed to be the Invisible Man, but they decided to like change it up and make it a contemporary.
Yeah, I only have like a $7 million budget
thing.
Very cheap.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so it's cool that they were able to do something. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard good things. So I think it was one of the movies that went straight to streaming last year. So I should have watched, but I didn't. I think I don't know. There's really not a lot I'm excited for DC wise. I'm looking forward to the new Batman with Rob Pattinson, just because Matt Reeves is doing it. I really liked his Planet of the Apes movies, so I think it'll like be more auteurish like the Nolan films. So I'm looking forward to that, and I guess we're like get an interesting take on Riddler. Right, he's be more like the Zodiac killer, /7 killer, or John Doe from Seven. So that should be interesting to watch. It'll just be a new take that's separate. That's its own thing, which is what Nolan movies were. So I wish these movies were just more standalone instead of just like
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like
bigger narrative.
Hopefully, Flashpoint might be able to do something. Like I think that's why they keep delaying. Like, I think that's why they keep delaying the Flash movie because like there's this epic like thing you can do in DC called Flashpoint that will reset the timeline. You guys have already shit the bed so much. Like, go ahead and.
But
I mean, like
yeah.
Maybe they have Ezra Miller at the beginning of it, and he goes back in time, and he turns out to be someone else. It's a comic book movie. Whatever you want to.
Have you all seen The Stand on CBS? Apparently he's awful in that.
No.
He's playing Trash Can Man. Oh, yeah. If you haven't read the book, he's basically like this burn victim who's like he's like a pyromaniac. And he basically goes around looking for nukes. And basically it's basically like Ezra Miller in his underwear screeching while he's like going around getting nukes. And it's like so awful. It's so bad. So it's just like, literally look up Ezra Miller, The Stand. And you'd be like, what the fuck is he doing? It's very strange, but I think he's strange is what he's going for, basically, like his personal life and his professional one. But I don't know. I think that was just awful.
Rob, what do you think about Justice League Snyder cut? I know this is kind of all new to you. I know you're not into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna see it
on Twitter,
sure. But I guess I didn't completely follow what
HBO
was
Max
going on
for a week.
A lot of the
basically like it just follows BVS. It's like Superman got killed by Doomsday. He's dead, and Darkseid or whatever stuff
Justice League
take over there. That's basically it. And Cyborg and Flash
then they turned into
and Aquaman are in it too.
And then they edited it down to the piece of crap they released.
It does look cool though.
Well, no, they started shooting. They started shooting Justice League while they were shooting before BVS came out, and then everyone hated BVS, and then Warner Brothers like pulled the plug on part 2, and they fired Snyder. Well, I think Snyder's like daughter killed herself, and then like basically he just didn't have the energy to argue with the studios. I'm washing my hands of it.
Let go a couple months before then, but it's speculation.
I guess we'll never know. It's like there's probably some NDAs in the. What do you think? What do you think about the Ray Fisher situation? Because like he accused Joss Whedon, but he hasn't given any specifics to this day, as far as I know. He's basically said he was like abusive, unprofessional. But at least the people on Buffy have given actual instances and actual specific accusations. Like I think like James Marsden said like Joss Whedon like threatened to fire him just because he was so popular on the show, or I don't know, and some other thing. Like I think some stunt people accused him of like trying to break up some relationships on set or something like that. So
I don't think.
Just a lot of like I think.
I don't think Ray Fisher needs to explain anything more.
If
he wants to be a whistleblower, it's his choice to figure out the degree of which he wants to talk about like that kind of experience.
But people aren't going to like think he's credible, though. I mean, maybe like these other accusations like are lending some credibility to him, but he's like refusing like say because first of all, if he's worried about NDA, that's already over and done with. He's already broke. He's already broken it. So he might as well give specifics. And the fact that he hasn't, it's not helping his case to stay silent. And he's also expanding the narrative to like include every executive at Warner Brothers, like Walter Hamada, John Berg, and I think Jeff Johns. Like everyone's guilty of this massive conspiracy to, I don't know, to allow misbehavior or abuse. So I just think he just needs to get more specifics, and the fact that he's not is just like not helping his case. That's just my 2 cents. But he could, be right. He just needs to, be more specific. So, but that's basically all I got.
I hope they throw Joker into
final thoughts.
I hope he starts out with those tattoos and they throw him to get rid of him. If he just shows up with no tattoos, like the continuity major in me will just yell at the fucking TV, like the theater screen. No, who am I kidding? I'm going to watch this at home.
I hope Batman. I hope Ben Affleck shoots Joker the second he sees him. Like after that scene, like, wouldn't you agree, Batman? And like Batman just pulls out a gun, shoots him in the head. And he turns the camera's like, there, he's dead.
Yeah, you're doing like a Family Guy.
Like Stewie and Family Guy. Like he's
I wonder
like,
if
there, he's
Zack
dead.
Snyder's
He's
gonna
not coming back.
Take like the last couple pages from I just had the name and I'm blanking. The iconic one, Batman, The Killing Joke. If Zack Snyder's going to take like the last couple of pages from like The Killing Joke, and like that's how they kill the Joker at the end.
That's basically
Zack Snyder seems like the kind of person who would like.
He tried to
because that's a very and that's like one of the most like famous ambiguous endings of all time. Like, was Batman laughing? Did he just break his neck? And I think Zack Snyder's like, this is my stance on it, and then you get to see him like break his neck.
Batman was actually not laughing, but he was actually crying. He was just smiling while he was crying. So. That's my Snyder take on it now. I think it's going to be, I don't know. It could be good. I imagine it's at least going to be better than the Joss Whedon version or not. Who knows? I just won't know until I see it, which I'm not really I'm not excited to see it. That's the thing. I'm just.
Well, I'm super excited to see it.
Because I hated BVS so much.
I mean, you'll have to
I might just watch just so I complain about it, but, I'm not emotionally invested. So, yeah, that's true. Because like really haven't. Well, yeah. I mean, it looks like a Snyder movie. So, what are you gonna say? But that's basically all I get. We're past the hour.